people were always asking me, how do you stay so positive? With everything going on, you always seem so happy and so vibrant. And for a lot of the time, that was my job. Like, it was my job to make people smile and make people happy, and that's what I was supposed to do. But inside, that's not really how I was. So what I wanted to talk about is how I change my thought process. Because a lot of people, let's say when it comes to health and wellness, you want to start like a healthy lifestyle. You start it and then you stop it and you just give up. And it's because of the way you think. You have to think about how you're starting, your whole belief process, your whole thought process. And that's what I wanted to teach you guys about, how I've changed my thought process to help me get through some tough times. And it's really helped out. Even now, still to this day, I still have doubts about certain things. Like I'm starting to train right now for CBS Radio, and I'm starting a new live anchor position, and I started to doubt myself. I started to say, I'm not experienced enough to do this. Like, this is crazy. It's stressful. It's a lot. Can I handle this? Well, you know what? Yeah, I can. It starts with that belief. So in order to change, you have to believe that you can do it. Your belief, it determines like where you go, how you are. It determines your destiny. So if you can change that belief system in order to get you where you want to go, that's the first place to start. Give me a quick hands up on this one. If you ever find yourself saying, I'm not experienced enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not, pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, I don't deserve it, or I always fail, so I'm not just gonna try it anyway. Like, okay, I'm starting to see the hands going up here. It's normal to feel that way, but it's not normal when you always feel that way. And that's when you have to start to make that change. Saying to myself, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. And then I started to say to myself, I do deserve it. There's someone who I follow, Marie Forleo. She is a great motivational speaker. She has a number of great books out there. But she talks about how your whole thought process works, because everything starts with a thought, right? And then that thought turns into a feeling. And then that feeling turns into a belief. And then that belief turns into a result. The thought is, I want to start a healthy lifestyle. So then the feeling becomes that feeling, those self-limiting beliefs. The feeling becomes, well, I can't because I always fail, and every time I try, I always let myself down. So what's the purpose? And then that's your behavior. Your behavior is that you quit after a while. And then what happens there, the result is that you never get results because you never allowed yourself to believe that you can do it. The problem is that there are certain places where these beliefs come from, and you can't use that as an excuse. For example, these beliefs could be something that started in your environment. These self-limiting beliefs were ingrained in me since I was little. I always thought I wasn't enough because of something that happened to me. I always thought I had to please other people. I always thought I had to do, what other people told me to. I learned to change that thought process, because you can change your beliefs. And that's the whole thing. Any limiting belief, it can be replaced. It can come from experience. For example, some people don't have a great experience with sports or any kind of working out. Maybe when they were younger, they didn't do it. Maybe they were made fun of, maybe they weren't, the class athlete and they were always scared to, or maybe someone told them that, why don't you not try out for the team? Those little things that get ingrained into your head when you're younger, it sticks with you, but that doesn't mean that you can't change it. For me, it was, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. So what I do now is I take that and I cross it off. And I'm telling you, Marie Forleo did this. This was one of the exercises she did. You take that limiting belief, you take it down, you write it on a piece of paper, cross it out, and call bullshit. That's right. Not true. And underneath it, write all the reasons why it's not true. And what you do is you hold on to that piece of paper, and every time that you start to go down that path again, you remind yourself of all those reasons why underneath that it's not true. Like for example, I'm not good enough. Crossed out that thing. And underneath it, I said, I am enough. I'm a good mother. I'm a great wife. I'm a good friend. I've done that. You list these things because every time now that I say to myself, I start to get the doubts. Like I just told you about the radio. I was getting doubts like I'm not good enough for this. I don't have enough experience. You start reminding yourself of why. People always say, I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, I can't believe this is happening to me. That's the wrong way to think about it. Think about it as, I can't believe this is happening for me. Twist it. Put a positive twist on it. Be more mindful of your words and how you use them. Not just for yourself, but if you have kids, if you have nieces and nephews, if you have anything like that, be more mindful of how your words are used around them. Because there were certain words, let's say you probably grew up, and maybe your parents weren't mindful about certain things that they said, and it really started to affect you. Sometimes it's these labels that are placed upon us when we're young, like I was the oldest, so I was the smartest. I had to be the most responsible. I had to do this. I had to be on top of everything. I had to take care of everybody, and it was like, that stuck with me. The traumatic experience that I had, that stuck with me and it affected me, but you have to get past that. So remember, it's not what happened to me. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. No, because that's not going to serve anything. It's what's happening for me. Okay, so yeah, that bad thing happened, but how is it going to affect me? How am I going to use that and turn it into a positive? People always say, this won't work for me. This won't work for me. You have to say, how can this work for me? Okay, change your language and change the way you talk. I'm learning to be more mindful with the way I speak to my kids about money. Because growing up, money was always like a tough, subject. Like, my parents went through a tough time when my dad lost his job. Like, we went through a tough time growing up. And it was always, I always thought of money as like a bad thing because everyone was always arguing about it. And I don't want my kids to have that same feeling about it, So sometimes my daughter will be like, oh, hey, can we go get this? And I'm like, girl, we ain't got enough money for that. Instead of doing that, I have to learn to change it up a little bit, like you have to think like, well, we can't get that now, but maybe what we'll do is we'll save up. And, if we work hard, then you know what? Then maybe we can get that, but just not right now. A little bit different. I'm working on how mindful I am about the way I speak to my kids because I used to snap at them and I catch myself now, and it really affected them, mainly because I wasn't happy with myself and I was taking it out on them, which is not fair to them. So if you want to start a healthy lifestyle, you can do it, but you have to start with the right belief system. Stop the negative beliefs. Stop saying that you can't do it. Stop saying that it's never worked for you. Stop saying that I was never the athlete. Stop saying that I'm not strong enough. I'm too old. Just change your thought process. Start thinking. Be more mindful of your words as they start to come out of your mouth. Sometimes you may not even notice it's something that's been ingrained in you, but that doesn't mean that you can't change it.